So I just got home from work, and today, for the first time, I dressed fully feminine in public, in the broad light of day. It was to a luncheon at my work, with the board of directors of the theater company I work for. I wore my lemon dress, and my keffiyeh. And you know, it, in the grand scheme of things, might seem like a small victory, but you gotta let yourself celebrate your small victories. Because there's a lot of times when those big ones feel really few and far between. And right now, for me, every little victory I get is one more step that I have taken towards being fully myself, towards not hiding who I am any longer. And that feels like something to celebrate to me.
What? That's so f***ing gay.
Now, this is simply my opinion, but what that bearded fellow we just heard from in the first clip was wearing seemed like mildly inappropriate attire for a board of directors luncheon from his place of employment. And my question is, why was he wearing a sweater under his lemon dress? That's an odd fashion statement. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a fairly quick and slightly crazy clown world update for you guys today, and as usual, we just don't have any time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So I saw this photo making its rounds on the interwebs, and I remembered we actually showed a clip of this young lady here on the channel a few weeks ago complaining about how she couldn't get a job at TJ Maxx or somewhere like that. What the hell did she think was going to happen when she decided to do that to herself? And I would recommend her applying for a job with the lemon dress fella because they seem to play very fast and loose with physical appearances.
Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
All right, let's keep it moving with today's segment of celebrities who suffer from TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome. And once again, we have Hollywood actor Robert De Niro. Now, Robert De Niro showed up outside the courthouse in New York City for Trump's trial and had these words to say. Rolling.
Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives. This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really. We don't have a choice.
What did you say?
Because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
Meanwhile,
ban assault weapons now. Ban them now. We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
Go f yourself.
Now, I know, I apologize. I kind of dragged that last clip out, but I really, really just wanted to drive home the point that, as Robert De Niro was saying, we have to preserve our freedoms and vote for Joe Biden. That Joe Biden is literally trying to take our ARs and AKs. Anyway, next up, now, I don't know who this young lady is. I don't know what kind of hearing this is. I'm guessing it's some kind of congressional hearing. But this is a typical Democrat voter, completely unhinged. Roll it.
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
Oh, don't give me that liberal bullshit.
All right, next up we have this young fellow who says he's homeless by choice and that he could go home anytime he wants, and that by doing this he's rejecting capitalism. Now, take it from someone that was homeless for many years and couldn't go home anytime I wanted because I didn't have a home to go to. This fella's not homeless, he's camping. Roll it.
Mean to be homeless by choice. Being homeless by choice or consensual homelessness means that I'm choosing to be a part of the homeless community. That means on a day-to-day basis, I live an unsheltered lifestyle, but I can also revoke consent at any time and go home. By choosing to be a part of the homeless community, even though I don't have to, I'm helping to normalize homelessness and reduce some of the stigma that's typically attached to it. I'm also rejecting to participate in an unethical capitalist system of consumption in favor of a more sustainable lifestyle. Being homeless has finally given me the freedom to express myself that I never had growing up in a strict suburb community. I can honestly say being trapped in a life that was unfulfilling with a job I hated was much worse. There's nothing wrong with being homeless.
That is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Jesus Christ.
Now, let me just say this. I'm all about doing things like homesteading or backpacking or RVing, hashtag the van life, or becoming a minimalist, just getting rid of all the shit you don't need and traveling or camping. But that kid's not homeless. He's doing just that. He's camping. And when things get tough on the streets, which they do, he just goes home because he doesn't have that dog in him. Anyway, next up. So this young fella doesn't care about inflation, the economy, or gas prices. So what the hell does he care about besides his hair? Roll it.
Here's a list of things that I just do not give a fuck about. Number 1, the state of this economy. That is none of my business. Okay, I pay my taxes. Barely. So I don't know, what do you want me to do? Inflation. Should we all just become farmers? Like, I'll pay $5 for an apple and I won't think twice about it. Same goes with gas. What, do you want to walk? Should we all just buy bicycles? I mean, I drive an EV now, but like, I think about how much I spent on this car. Almost 0% as much as I did when I had to fill my gas car. I don't know what to tell you. Your baby, the weather, traffic. That's just a start to a list of things that I just could give a less about.
What are you, gay?
Hey, real quick, sorry. Real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. I don't think anyone ever showed this fella how to put makeup on. That looks terrible. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our great friend, John D'Arcangelo. Now, John has been subscribed to the channel and watching these videos since way back in the very beginning. So, John, I'm glad you're still here watching and enjoying the video, sir. I really appreciate the support. So once again, today's video sponsor is John D'Arcangelo. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, get this guy off the screen. It's kind of creepy. Oof.
What the f is wrong with you?
All right, next up we have this fella who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman, and he's always sitting at restaurants doing these bizarre analogies with food and beverage products. Bro.
You know, it sounds crazy, but trans women can produce milk to feed a baby. Here's how. Step 1, you must grow your coconuts. After about 3 to 5 years of estrogen, you will have fully functional milk ducts from which you can feed a baby. So once your coconuts are grown, it is time to start producing milk. Now, normally getting pregnant would trigger milk production, but since trans women can't get pregnant, we must do it another way. Turns out this is not all that difficult to do. Just add a few extra hormones and supplements and pump your coconuts regularly, and you will start producing milk. Now, I can already see the criticisms, the comments coming through. There's no way this milk is safe to drink or nutritious or healthy, but it is scientifically proven to be. The one caveat is that a trans woman might not be able to produce enough milk to feed the baby, but what is produced is healthy and can always be supplemented with formula. Ultimately, the act of feeding your child yourself is affirming to anyone, not just trans people. It also helps the child form a secure attachment to their parent. And for the record, I have no interest in having kids or producing milk. I just think it's cool that you can do this in the first place.
That's f***ing disgusting. Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this very bizarre clip of former Vice President Joe Biden giving some advice to all the young men out there. And his advice is, if you're going to get married, marry into a family with 5 or more daughters because one of them will always love you. Really, Joe? Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
I say to every young man thinking of getting married, marrying a family with 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always be on your side. That's the biggest advantage of marrying into 5 daughters.
What did you say? What the f did you just say?
One of them will always love you. Not the same one.
Man, you are one twisted f***.
And you ain't black.